Hey, the SOMNIUM Files, nirvanA Initiative. I love a good visual novel, and I remember enjoying the first game. Sure, it had its issues, but overall, it was a fun game. This one took all the best parts of that game, which were the Somniums, and really ran with it. However, unlike the previous game, which had interesting environments in the Somniums, in this one it's just mostly retreads of existing environments. That's not to say it didn't get creative at times, but the fact that it felt like there were so many of them kind of took away the excitement of when we got to go. The littlest Wiiviewer was with me the whole time I was playing this. He enjoyed the first game as well. I'm glad he was around for this game, or I would have had issues. You're investigating a few bodies which have been discovered to be cut in half, with only half of the body found at the time. They will often find both halves 6 years apart, but confirmed to be only killed days before. So how did it happen? Well, that's the main mystery. But you're gonna have to trudge through a few hours of random plot lines with a love story and a father and son relationship. It was important to the plot, but I wish these sections were cut down. There were points where the timeline could be split and you could see different realities. You are required to go down almost every path. You could probably skip the one where you decide to quit the force and run away with the secretary, but you can do it if you want. Most of the ends of the timelines, they're going to give you a word or words that you're going to need to know if you want to see the rest of the main story. You would think that they would just show you the word in the summary of each chapter, but it doesn't. They just say something like, they told you their real name, and you're going to have to replay the chapter if you forgot, or you didn't have a pen and paper at the time. It was ridiculous. It should have been flagged that we went through that ending, and just make it so we have to choose the word when it comes up, like in a text box. I wish I could say this was the only time this came up, but it wasn't. In the beginning of the game, it asked us if we played the first game. I said yes, and it gave me a prompt that I wanted to confirm that yes, I have played it, so it is okay to spoil that game. I confirmed it again, and then it asked me for some name from the first game. I had to spell it, and I had one chance at it. I don't remember the name of some character I played 3 years ago. Just take my word for it that I played that game. Why is this such a big deal? Mizuki and Ryuki both have lost their left eyes, just like Dante from the first game. They're both equipped with AI balls, which are computer programs that control their eyes and they can talk to them. And they're also avatars in the Somniums. The game has multiple characters who have lost their left eyes. Why is there so much eye trauma in this game? Why is this so common? And always the same eye. Now, to be fair, one of these characters chose to have one of their eyes removed so they can get an AI ball, which is crazy. There's actually a point early on where they could lose their job. Does this mean they get their eyeball back? I do enjoy finding illogical leaps in logic, problems with the plot, or finding weird small details I could jump on. It's kind of a staple in my reviews. However, the problem with this game is there was just too many, and I was really annoying the littlest Wiiviewer as I kept pointing it out. He either ignored my musings or tried to defend it. However, I found a plot hole so large you could drive a semi-truck through it. Even he couldn't defend it. He just acknowledged it and said, it's just a game, let it go. I couldn't. It was such a huge part of the first game. And then just to have them ignore this big part of it was just crazy. I wish I could tell you what I was talking about. It would just spoil the ending part of the first game. I will say that it was impossible with the setup of the game to progress in the way they wanted with the characters. And instead of acknowledging it, the game just ignores it. And I was losing my mind. Let me just say this. You don't want to ever play a story-based game with me. I will never shut up while playing it. The game is broken down like this. You talk to people, investigate an area, then you find a witness to strap into the machine, and you'll enter their mind. That would be the Somniums. Consent is still very much an issue in this game. Sometimes they're okay with it, other times you have to drug them in order to get them there. This time they basically strap every main character you meet into this machine. And like I said before, it kind of takes away from the specialness of it by having so many people get strapped in. I never quite understood if people actually knew about this machine that would let you look into their memories. Was this like a national secret? If it was the worst kept secret of all time when you strap everyone you know into it. But there were more times where they could have just asked them a question instead of putting them in the machine. Now they added a few things to this game, like being able to investigate a crime scene in VR. And I like that. They give you a list of things to do in the VR world, and once you do that, you work out what happened by reenacting it in the VR world like a movie. For some reason. They never explain it. It's just kind of a cute, quirky thing. The problem with this is that on more than one occasion, the game seems to forget that we're in the VR world, and would make things happen that were impossible to do. Like moving statues and triggering something. Okay, how did the VR world know what would happen when we did that? It's only a visual representation of the environment. They should have to do it in the real world, and only once they actually do that. When they finally did mention they needed to get out of the VR world in order to try it out, I said out loud, about time! And this was after 25 hours. They also added a wink sync, which lets you peek into someone's mind for a few seconds. Let me just let that one sink in, as an investigator at any time can look into your mind for a quick look. And it's played off as a fun thing, instead of the horrific invasion of privacy. I enjoyed the 99.99 hours I had playing with this. Or, more realistically, the 30 hours I played with this. What is going on with the Switch in this save glitch? First Danganronpa 3, then the kids we were. Is it my Switch? Or are publishers not bothering to adjust their save files for the Switch? Now, there are actually two endings to this game. One that most people will watch, watch, and another ending if you remember some random conversation from 15 hours ago, and you know where in the timeline to look for it, you can see this ending. I didn't remember it, but the littlest did. He told me where to look and he was right, and it was just strange. It might be the true ending of the game, I don't know. Well, I guess we'll know when they make another sequel to the game to see which ending is canon. Most likely it's not, but it would be interesting if they actually did make this ending canon. AI the Somnium Files nirvanA Initiative was a fun game that had some interesting additions to the gameplay. I found the mystery intriguing, and while there was illogical actions by people and at times disturbing plot lines, it was still riveting until the very end. Now this was $60, and I would wait for it to go on sale. I think that's way too much for any visual novel. For example, the first game was just on sale for a crazy price of $7.99, and that's too cheap. It was totally worth that. I would wait for this game to be at least half the normal price. It is worth playing, but you should wait for it to go on sale.